Well, good morning everybody. My name is Linda Steffens and I am the founder of the Small Business Project, and we have a 4-step advisory process for accountants in public practice. So I'm here today at the Accounting Business Expo at our stand, and I have with me one of our projecteers, Carolyn Athanitis. How are you?
Good morning, Linda. I'm well, thank you.
That's good. Will you tell us a little bit about your practice and where you're at?
Thanks to you. I now offer small businesses advisory services. It hasn't always been that way. It was more bookkeeping and accounting functions, but I'm more confident now to offer the advisory services.
Great. So you decided to learn our 4-step process and enroll in our training. So let's rewind back a little bit to that decision. What helped you make that decision, Carolyn?
I had some clients who I was particularly unsatisfied with.
Yes.
There was a lot of scope creep. I was offering bookkeeping services at the time, but there was a lot more that I was giving.
So you were giving away advice for free?
Definitely was.
Okay. So at the time when you come to learn from us, you weren't doing advisory, is that right?
Not officially, no.
Not officially. Okay, cool. And so now, do you have a regular income stream?
I certainly do.
From advisory?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that's great. So on a scale of 1 to 10, because it's all about confidence and self-belief, isn't it?
Definitely.
Around, I can actually do this. So how would you rate your confidence now on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow, good on you. Where was it?
It was about -10.
Oh dear. Why was it -10? Why do you think
I
you
had
felt
no
that way?
structure.
Yeah,
I
okay.
knew what I wanted to give to my clients. I could see the value in the information that I was able to offer them. I could see that their business would prosper more if they took up the advice I was able to give them. However, I didn't have that format to deliver the service.
Yeah, okay. And so what concerns you the most if you stayed that way?
Oh, I'd be out of business.
You'd be out of business.
Definitely be out
You'd
of
be out of
business.
the industry.
Yes, I was
That's very sad.
dissatisfied.
Yeah.
Really dissatisfied with, it was like a bottle that was ready to pop. I had all this information, I was excited to help my clients, but they weren't able to access it.
Yeah, okay, all right. So looking back at the training, what did you think you gained personally and professionally from it? What was some of the good things?
I gained a lot of confidence to
Okay.
start with,
Yeah.
and the process to actually deliver advisory services. Very simple and easy plan.
Okay.
Great framework.
Great. And so what was the hardest thing that you've had to tackle since working with us and working with me, do you think?
Hardest thing? That's a good question. The hardest thing? It's such a simple plan.
Okay. There wasn't anything really
It wasn't
hard.
anything really difficult. I suppose leaving old habits behind.
Yeah.
And just going back, when you give us great resources, just going back through those resources and believing that I know the system works. I can see it works. I have a lot of belief in that.
Yes.
But just going back to those tools that you gave us and saying, okay, this is step-by-step process. This is what I need to do. And sometimes I would have the script in front of me and just read it off the script while I was delivering something to the client on a phone call.
Yeah, okay.
It worked.
So that made it easy for you.
So much easier.
So where in the training did you feel confident enough to start talking about or using the process with a client?
Straight away.
Straight away, okay. And I know that you've got an amazing client that you particularly work with this process around.
Yes.
We'd love to hear a little bit about his story. But first up, what have you learned from clients' reactions when you start to use this process with, right back from the first introduction of, like step 1, we talk about 4 steps, but step 1.
The clients are actually amazed that I can do this magic. One client calls me the numbers ninja. Well, I'm an accountant, that's what we do.
You're a numbers ninja, that's funny. So good. Yeah.
But they're amazed that we have all this ability to help them in their business.
Okay. So I do want to talk about Brad the mechanic.
Yes.
He's done amazing things within this process. Please, if you can, tell us a little bit about his story.
So in a nutshell, Brad was a client I was doing bookkeeping services. A lot of scope creep in that role. He was going home, he'd just taken over from his dad running the business, and he was fired, ready to go. And one day, just by chance, he said, he's telling me all these big plans, and I said, are you ready for this? Because I knew that he didn't have systems and processes in place to be successful. It stopped him in his tracks, and he was actually quite amazed that I asked that question, and he reminds me about that.
Does he? Yeah, right.
He still reminds me about that conversation.
Okay.
So that was the beginning of our conversation about delivering these advisory services.
And what he does now, isn't it, which I absolutely love, is he starts to quote the process back to you, doesn't he? He actually schools you in the process. Go, wait, that's happening.
Last week I had a meeting with him.
Yeah.
And I pulled out the model.
Yes.
And he said, yes, this is why, and this is where I'm at, and this is where I want to be. So it's amazing.
So what you've done for him is really empower him as a business owner, haven't you?
Most definitely.
Yeah. And I remember you said to me at one stage too, he had trouble actually calling himself or identifying himself as a business owner. He was always a mechanic. That's changed as a result of this, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's amazing. So your perception of advisory services now, has that changed?
The delivery's changed, our approach has changed. I know there's so much information as accountants that we have that we can deliver to our clients. I suppose more so the process of being able to deliver it in a very easy way.
Yeah, okay. That's the important thing, isn't it? Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today. We really appreciate it. But I do have just one final question. Going back to the moment when you were thinking about doing the training and you weren't quite sure, looking back at that now, what would you say to yourself now?
Oh, I have no regrets at all.
Okay.
I'm so glad I made that decision.
Great. Fabulous. Well, thank you, Carolyn. We appreciate very much you coming along and speaking with us. That's been amazing. And if anybody wants to talk to us further about our 4-step process, we'd love you to book a call. You can do that on the event app or just reach out to us at any point in time. Thank you, Carolyn. That's been amazing.